Buddhist meditation. Thank you. And so we did, we talked a lot about that. I need to get rid of the, yeah. And then we talked about meditation as a part of our Christian tradition. And we looked at John Main, who is the father of this whole movement back to Christian meditation and his whole journey into rediscovering Christian meditation. And Pat did that one, and then, Michelle did that. And then we talked about the roots of Christian meditation, going way back from the Desert Fathers and coming all the way to John Main, looking at the Cloud of Unknowing, St. John of the Cross, and all the others. So we looked at that. And then last week, Judy talked about the Wheel of Prayer and talked about how at the center of it all is the silence, which leads us to that relationship with God. So this evening, I am going to talk a little bit about leaving self behind. Sounds very up in the air. How do we leave ourselves behind, and how do we understand meditation as a form of prayer, really? So Jesus said, if anyone wants to be a follower of mine, he needs to renounce himself, take up his cross and follow me. And we meditate to do just that, to obey that absolutely fundamental call Jesus makes, which is the basis of our Christian faith, really, to leave ourselves behind in order that we can indeed journey with Christ in his return to the Father. So it sounds very commendable, but how do we do that? Most people have never really met the person who they themselves really are, We live our lives with a steady stream of ideas, images, feelings that we cling to, thinking that they're the very essence of ourselves. And, like having two teenage granddaughters with me, I see them, they try out this image, you try out that image, you're trying out different personality, and there's a lot of masks and images and smokes, and so that happen. And very often we never really meet this person that we really are. And a lot of times the big fat ego gets in the way, So we say all of these things are fine, but what is in it for me, really? And our ego will take over sometimes. And, and there's nothing wrong with the ego, as we said in one of the earlier sessions, but, the ego is a fantastic servant, but it's a horrible master. And sometimes the ego just takes over, and in the world tells us that we have to do this and we have to do that. And a lot of times there are lots of masks that we put on. What's in it for me? What's in it for me? And the truth is, at this level, we are consumed by our egos. I don't have an idea, but the idea has me, and the idea is my motivation. I don't have the feeling, but the feeling has me, and the feeling has the control, and the feeling is the motivation, really, inside of there. And the challenge is really to discover who this I really is, Who are we at the deepest level, behind our thoughts, behind our feelings, or others who think, and others who have thoughts about us. And so behind all of that, who is this I really? And we have to find a way to get beyond those things to discover our original face. The one we already had before we were born. Even with great practice, most of us will only glimpse at our true self for a moment at a time when we are alive. Just that true innocent time, that true person, because a lot of times it is just covered with all kinds of ego and all kinds of busyness and world. The world just gets in the way of us really spending time with ourselves. So that's why we go to the mantra. And saying the mantra is a discipline which helps us to transcend all the limitations of our narrow self-obsession, isolated, isolating our true self from the ego self, and destroying the fictions. What we need, how do we destroy all these fictions that we create around ourselves all the time? And who is creating this person when there's a person inside, the I inside of us is there. And the mantra leads us into that experience of freedom that exists at the center of our being. And so when the thoughts come, and when the ego comes, and when the thoughts come, we just let it go and come back to the breath, come back to the mantra, and that letting go of the thoughts, letting go of I must, I have to, and so, and coming back to the breath, coming back to the center of our being there, where the spirit is. There is liberty. That's what St. Paul says that, it's so the mantra, the humility of the mantra, the simplicity of the mantra, and which is why we use the word Maranatha. The origin is come Lord, but it's a word that's not familiar in our vocabulary, because we just want to come back to the breath, come back to the mantra, come back to the nothingness, really, and in our world today, it's so difficult. We have perhaps lost of our understanding of what it really means to renounce self. When Jesus says, give up, if you really want to follow me, give up yourself, give up and renounce yourself and come to me. Self-renunciation is not an experience with which this world is familiar at all, because we know people tell us we need this thing, we need to have that, we must have that. You absolutely need a cell phone. We absolutely need a new computer. We absolutely need a car. We absolutely need this. We really need to buy this now. I have, things and the worldliness, yes, and then also the relationships and all these things that cloud, and so, and no, we've lost of our understanding of what it really means, well, some of us, what it really means to come back to yourself. And then there's the meditation as well. Even with regards to meditation, we think first of all of what can we gain from meditation rather than what we must lose or transcend and become because of meditation, because it's a lot about, the ego. From my meditation, this is what I get. These are the things I will get. And really in Christian meditation, it's not about getting, it's not about acquiring. It's more about giving up and emptying yourself for a more spacious kind of existence. When we empty ourselves, when we are able to empty our ego self. And so there's a kind of calmness that happens, which is a kind of spaciousness. But our ego, if I pray and be negotiating with God, the materialism of our society puts what I want at the center of our lives. It can render the other, even God, merely as an object that we see in terms of our pleasure, our advantage, and the more self-conscious we are, the more we begin to objectify God. Then God's reality, his uniqueness, the central value escapes us. And God merely becomes, for us, merely a projection of ourselves, And we can never know God as an object, as, that he is just like a no thing. God is no thing. And it's not like he's just somebody there like a bank, and you go and you get stuff from him, you just negotiate and you get stuff from him. And so, and the ego just objectifies that God is that person. So, at the center of our being is a point, and this is an important slide for me. And for me, this is a very, this is where so much of my existence is. At the center of our being is a point of nothingness, which is untouched by sin and by illusion, a point of pure truth, a point or spark which belongs entirely to God, which is never at our disposal, from which God disposes of our lives, which is inaccessible to the fantasies of our own mind or the brutalities of our own will. And this little point of nothingness and of absolute poverty is the pure glory of God in us. This little point of nothingness and of absolute poverty is the pure glory of God in us. And, I'm going to play a short video for you now, and it's my personal testimony. I don't normally play it in training sessions, but after chatting with a couple of people who said, well, I don't understand how this could ever be prayer. Yes, it's great and it's meditation, but I don't see it as a form of prayer. I captured in one of my videos how it became a form of prayer to me. And I'd like to share it with you. So Hilary or Pat, can you stop sharing, please? Stop recording. In meditation, really, we are learning to be, just to be, just as we are, and just as who we are, and it's not, if I say this, this will happen, or if I do this, this will happen, or so. It's just believing that within us, there's an indwelling spirit in us that is there, and we believe it is there in us. And in the silence, somehow, in the silence, we just get a glimpse of that peace and in the silence, we begin to understand that being is really what life is all about. So in meditation, really, we are just learning to be. To be is to live as the person you are without trying to justify your existence, to make excuses for your personality, and just to be as you are. And the wonder of it is that the simpler you become, the more you're able to enjoy the gift of your being. And that is an amazing statement, really. The more you clear the clutter, and and the more you're just able to clear all that clutter from within, the more we're able to just be, and to just be as we are, that way. So as the poet Rumi said, I searched for God and found only myself. I searched for myself and found only God. Yeah, so I love this poem, it's by Derek Walcott, my absolute favorite poet. And it's called Love After Love. The time will come when with elation, you will greet yourself, arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, sit here, eat. You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you ignored for another, who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror and sit and feast on your life. So this is just an image of the growth of meditation, because sometimes it takes us a while for it to really soak in. And it's very much like, I love the image of the pawpaw fruit, where you have the seeds and it just gradually it takes root in us, and it starts to grow, and there's just a young fruit coming in, and gradually it ripens within us, and eventually we see it happening. Eventually we turn to the silence, and we find peace in the silence, and and God dwells. Be still and know that I am God, that way. So we want to talk a little bit about the fruits and the benefits of meditation. So meditation, there are different kinds of meditation. As we said in the first session, there is the compassion and loving kindness type meditation, which is a Buddhist practice. So the Buddhist practice an unselfish, compassionate perspective towards others. And he said, may you be happy, may you be well, may you be safe, may you be peaceful, may the world be happy, may the Ukrainians be well, may the Ukrainians be safe, may they be peaceful, may I be happy, may I be well, may I be safe, may I be peaceful. And it's a kind of, they practice that, and it's a Buddhist. And then there is mindful meditation, which is practiced quite a bit in business. And actually the person, Sabata, who started mindful meditation, he actually had to extract the religious, the spirituality from meditation, and use mindful. If you read the history with Sabata, and mindful meditation, you pay attention to the activity of the mind in a non-judgmental way, and you become the impartial witness of your experience. So some of the simple things they will ask you to do is to put a raisin in your mouth and feel the taste. Can you feel the sensation? Can you feel your mouth watering? And becoming mindful. So actually Christian meditation, contemplative meditation, you actually can start with mindful meditation and then move to that place of meditation. So the focused attention meditation. And the Christian meditation really is the third type of meditation, which is focused attention meditation, where we focus on a sacred word or a mantra, and some people, some different faiths actually would light a candle or something and focus on the candle or some object as well. But we use a sacred word, a phrase, a mantra, and we repeat it silently and integrally during the time of the meditation. And this is the practice of Christian meditation, where we believe, be still and know that I am God at the center of our existence there. Some of the harvests of the spirits of meditation, when we meditate, it teaches us things like patience, peace, self-control, kindness, goodness, joy, love, fidelity, the fidelity of the calmness, and some of these things. So if we practice, when you meet someone who practices meditation, who really practices meditation for a long time, and so there's a kind of calm that is there, and the calm really is within. It's on the inside, really. And then there's this love relationship that started happening years ago when science meets meditation. So there's been a lot of research done on meditation, and through Scientific America, Harvard, and I mean, if you go online, it's all over. So many people, so many researchers and scientists are doing the benefits of meditation. And it's taught a lot, for example, at the Arthur Lockjack School of Business, it's part of the leadership course where you actually teach meditation as leaders. And so, it's taught a lot in businesses, and Google, a lot of companies now have meditation chambers, like Google has a meditation chamber. And so it's the hottest thing for years now. And I guess with the pandemic happening and all the messiness that's happening in people's minds and hearts, it has really taken a real leap in popularity. And there's so much happening in the world of meditation, and a lot of it's talk about mindful meditation. So some of the benefits, it can be arranged in 4 groups. the brain performance benefits, where it improves attention and it gives access to right brain thinking. It optimizes brain performance. So gaining attention, what happens is this, this muscle, for want of another word. I know that there are doctors here, so forgive me for saying the word muscle, but when you train your mind to become aware that your thought has gone off somewhere else, and you become aware of that, and you come back to the center, you come back to your mantra, that part of the brain is strengthened. So it's very much like if you're a tennis player, you know, your arm gets stronger. And when you train your mind that your mind has strayed and it's out there, and I need to come back to the breath, come back to the center, that awareness is strengthened. And so you can stay focused and you can stay with whatever is happening mindfully so at that time. Also the mental health benefits, it reduces anxiety, improves depression, it reduces stress of living with chronic illnesses. And as Maurice, in our first evening, if you remember, Maurice shared that it helps him a lot with his high blood pressure, and his blood pressure is managed. And also Hilary, who is on with us as well, it has, he meditates, and it has helped tremendously with his pressure. And a lot of people, talk about it, especially with managing stress, managing pressure. It improves depression, anxiety. And so another physical health benefits is, well, we talked about that, it lowers blood pressure, it boosts the immune system. And so, and all of these things, I didn't just pull them off, it's through research. If you do your research, if you go, for example, on the NHS site, there are a lot of, in fact, if you go on the NHS site, it is actually a room where you can meditate on the site itself because of the benefits that they have found of meditation. So it improves emotional processing by the calmness, I guess, coping strategies, and the social function. So these are some of the benefits of meditation. So I'm just going to tell you now a little bit about us, about the WCCM in Trinidad. I don't know, so we are in a lot of the schools, both the Catholics and the government, and all the schools really, as long as they invite us, we go on. And Pat, who is on the chat, Pat Hawaii, who did the meditation, she manages the schools. So if we have teachers aboard here, or if you know your child's school or your grandchild or whoever, you want to take meditation in, we have an excellent program where we teach meditation in schools. And Pat is very much on the ball with that program. And it has been in convent, St. Joseph's Convent, primary school, St. Joseph Girls. So one of our teachers, Vina from St. Joseph Girls, is on the chat right now too, and we've done it there and a lot of other places. We do church groups. In fact, St. Joseph Church, the parish where I belong in St. Joseph, they've asked me to start a live meditation, in-person meditation group training. So we'll be doing that after Lent as well. And there are lots of church groups, which we'll tell you. There's one in Finbars, not Finbars, Assumption, and well, we have a lot. So I'll bring up the groups in a little bit. I can't remember, and I don't want to leave out what I don't know. We also do a lot of meditation in the workplace, as I told you before, the business school in Trinidad, which, well, I don't know what happens after COVID with it, but they teach meditation. And a lot of workplaces, Judy Joseph McSween, who's on this evening as well, who did last week's session, she does a lot of that. I also do a lot of teaching of meditation through my business training, and Judy does a lot as well. So, that's very available to us. And all of these are within the WCCM Trinidad. We also do work with the Rehab Center, and Simon Healy does that. He manages that. At the Rehab Center up at Mount St. Benedict, we go in and we teach meditation, and it's amazing. I'm part of that group. It's amazing how receptive these young men are to meditation. Recently, we've started meditation in prisons. So we're doing it on Zoom right now. And quite a few of the persons who are there. So we have Suzanne, Deacon Smith, Deacon Hillary, myself, Maurice. We do that group. And it's quite interesting to work with the prisons. So we do 6 prisons and they all come on at the same time on Zoom. We do the women's prison, the maximum security, the youths, and all 6 of them. And we do meditation in the prisons as well. So this is some of the outreach that we've been doing over the time. And the interesting thing is that all of these groups, even during the pandemic, all of these outreaches, they've remained open. We have been doing all of this for the last 2 years. In fact, the prisons started earlier this year, and excuse me, Maurice and Deacon Smith and Susan and myself and others as well have been very actively involved in doing it. So, you know, we have to ask, do we need meditation, medication, mediation? Whereas a lot of times people come to us, we've had in recent times medical doctors recommending meditation to calm persons and sending them to us, sending them because of the health benefits of meditation. So, you know, of course, please, this is not about giving up your medication for meditation at all. Don't get me wrong at all, but it works. If it has to work, it has to work in tandem with, and certainly it helps in mediation. I could attest to that. It works in mediation. So, yeah. So yes, just to just fill you in on the team. This is the Trinidad team, of course. We have Maurice, who is on, and I think all of us are on this evening. Maurice, our lone surviving male, who is with us, this evening. And we have Michelle, who you met as well. They all did presentations with us. We have Pat Hawaii and Judy Joseph McSween, who is there with us. And then, of course, I am here with you as well. So the 5 of us we work within the Trinidad and Caribbean group. And well, I'm not even going to try to go through all of this, but this is just to give you an idea of the groups that are existing. We have groups on Sunday, a women's group that operates on a Sunday, and this is for like the younger women. Then we have Monday, Michelle does one at Living Water, I think. My group is on 5:30 on Monday evening. Then Judy is at 7 o'clock. And so far, these are all operating on Zoom. I suppose eventually they go back live. Tuesday, Pat Hawaii. The advantage of Zoom, however, is that we've had a lot more people join in because of the easy access to the meditation. You don't have to drive and travel all over the place. And one that I missed out here, did I? No, I didn't. Okay. And then we have on Wednesday, we have Carolyn Scarrett, who does hers on WhatsApp, actually. And on Thursday, we have a men's group. And this is originally a group that used to meet at Living Water Community. And Simon Healy manages that group. So all of this I will put up on the WhatsApp chat as well as email it to you so that you'll have an idea of it. And then we have Dr. Desiree Wilson from the Anglican Church, who does a session on Thursday as well, Thursday evening as well. I'm not too sure of the time she does it, but I know it's Thursday evening as well. And then coming out, as I said before, the Zoom has really caused us to expand tremendously. So coming out of the group's meeting, we have Sister Mary Ann Duchong, and she's not with us this evening. She is actually managing. It started with St. Vincent, and then a lot of the other Caribbean islands have started joining. And so we have a group, and we actually have Trinidadians who join this group as well, and Tobagonians, and so who just jump on, and it's actually quite an interesting group. And then we have Judy and Pat who do a Saturday group as well. So you know, there are lots and lots of groups. I'm going to put all of this on the chat, and we can look at, or if you want to start a group, get in touch with us. We'd love to be able to help you. And also, we have a meditation center at St. Joseph's Convent. So if you're going from the Pembroke Street side, it's just on the convent, right there. There's a room there. And usually we will be open during the week from 8 to 2, I think. But well, of course, we had to close because of the pandemic, and we're looking to reopen soon as we could schedule persons to work the rooms. And you'll be welcome to just come in, sit and meditate. There's always someone. Once the room is open, there's going to be someone there to help you or to just meditate quietly with you, you know. And so there we have Sister Ruth and Michelle and Maurice and Judy meditating. That's what the inside of the room looks like. It's very simple, very calming, and very beautiful and peaceful. Sister Ruth has, she's on an adventure in Bonvo right now. Bonvo is the new retreat place. It's WCCM's new headquarters. Of course, we're in like 140 countries. And right now, Sister Ruth is over there at the guiding board meeting. She's one of the directors at the guiding board. So she's there right now, and that's Sister Ruth with Father Lawrence. So yeah. And we also have the Benedictine Oblates, but I will ask Michelle. Michelle, can you share a little bit about this, the Oblates? Mish?
I unmuted myself. Are you hearing me now?
Yes.
Yes. So the Benedictine Oblates are basically a way of entering into monastic life outside of a monastery. So in the lay community, in the non-clerical world. So in WCCM, the World Community for Christian Meditation, John Main actually initiated an even newer path of oblate life. So they've always been oblates attached to monasteries and Benedictine monasteries historically from the time of St. Benedict, or emerging out of that early monastic life. But there have been different versions, but basically it is a way of living the monastic experience and the monastic commitment outside of a monastery. But in the case of John Main, the fundamental connection to the monastic practice, which is the practice of meditation. It is the contemplative way through meditation practice. And therefore, by the contemplative way, we mean the commitment to stillness, silence, and simplicity. And this is because WCCM, the fundamental concept of WCCM is that it is a monastery without walls. So we are connected to the larger monastic community of the World Community for Christian Meditation. The fundamental principles of the Benedictine rule, the rule of Saint Benedict, which is central to Benedictine monastic spirituality, and guides the oblate in daily practice. The commitments of daily practice are not, as Father Lawrence says, and I was just reading, I don't know if you could see this, but this is something that we could also make available, because it is, are you seeing this? It is a little booklet, but it is also available online, electronically, and it's called the Oblate Path, and it really allows you to read a little more deeply and understand a little more fully what is involved. But it is really the fundamentals of the commitment are the daily practice of meditation, which many of you already do, and twice a day. We also tie ourselves or join in the commitment of religious around the world, which is in morning and evening prayer. There has been a simplification of that in WCCM of morning and evening prayer to one psalm, the gospel, and of course reading the rule. But that takes, I became an oblate novice in 2017, so this will be 5 years, and I've been reading the rule for 5 years, and it's really a very, for me, it's been a very, it's a deep journey. And then the practice of meditation every day. So it really is about deepening your commitment to meditation practice and deepening your commitment and to the contemplative way of life. For me, it's been a real journey into a deeper mystical experience.
Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, and so just for those of us who would like to continue, there's this fantastic app that you can download, the WCCM app, and just look for the two doves and WCCM, and and also there's the website wccm.org. Okay, I wouldn't go to that right now. That's an app.